Hi, so we're back today with another ants video. We haven't had one in a while, and in this one we're going to give you some hints for some of the levels and some of the beginning levels. But these are hints that you can also use for the later levels as well. So keep that in mind. We'll start with level 10. So first thing I want to point out, it's not really relevant for this level, but might be useful in other levels, is that you can actually have the ants go backwards past the spawner. So usually the ants will go forward out of the spawner like that. Okay. But it's perfectly fine to have them go backwards over the spawner like that. Okay, so that could come in handy in some levels. So keep that in mind. All right, so let's look at this level. So I want to talk about optimizing path for this level. So when you think about the stars that you get for each level, you can get 1, 2, 3, or 4 stars when you complete a level, and the stars are based first on the length of your path. So length is the most important factor, and then if you have the same length, then you try to get the fewest arrows, or use the fewest arrows to get that length. But looking at the length here, so when you think about optimizing, you can think about each individual ant. So each individual color. So for the red ants, it's pretty clear that their optimal path is just to go straight up here. Okay. And then yellow ants, they can go down at any point from here, go down one, and then over to the right. I won't actually do that, but let's look at blue. So blue, if these rocks weren't in the way, you could just go all the way across and go straight up here by two squares. But obviously you can't do that because of the rocks. So there's two options you have. You can either go up or you can go down. So if you went up, let's say you put a blue arrow here, then think about what's non-optimal about doing that. What you have to do is look at the unnecessary movements. So going from here to here is all fine. Up here is fine. Once you go up here, you're taking an extra step up above the spawner. The spawner's at this level here, and you're going up above that. So you're going up, and then you're going to have to go back down. Because of the rocks here, you're actually going to have to do that twice. You go up, down, up, down. So you're doing 4 extra moves. So if you go down though, let's see. If you go down here, then you're going down 1. That's an unnecessary move. So that's 1, and then you go back up. That's 2. Then the rest is fine. So here you're adding 2 extra moves, whereas if you'd gone up, you would go up. You would have 4 extra moves. So going down would be better for blue. And then you can do that for each individual color. And then sometimes you're not going to be able to get the optimal path for each color, especially if you don't have enough arrows or your other arrows get in their way. But that should be your goal. So let's take a look at one more. Let's say green. So green, there's lots of different paths you can take. You can go down here and then back up around this way. But I think the most direct way would be, let's see, say if we go up here, and then to the right, let's see, we could just turn here, and then up here, and then over there. Oh, we don't have any green arrows, but that's okay, we can use a white arrow. So that would be a direct route for green. That's not necessarily the only route. Let's see, you could, for example, you could go, I'm just going to use white arrows just to show you. You can go this way. Remember, you can go through another colored anthill, and it would just go right through. So that's another way you can do the optimal path, optimal length for green. Of course, you may may get in the way. Your orange arrows might get in the way if you try to do that. But that's just some things to think about in terms of optimal path length. So let's move on. Let's go to everyone's favorite subject, tunnels. So people can find this a little confusing, so I want to explain how the tunnels work. So tunnels are on the bottom right. This level you have 6 of them. And so basically tunnels let you go over rocks. So, and every time you use tunnels, you have to use them in pairs. So the ants will enter the tunnel, and then they have to have a tunnel to come out of. So let's put that one there. And let's just go. And the ants go in the first tunnel, out the second. In the first, out the second. Okay. So let's see what happens if we'll just have a bunch of tunnels here. Let's just put them all out. Okay, so this is probably really confusing to look at, but the way I think of it is you can just count, just say to yourself, in, out, in, out, in, out. So ants go in, come out of here. So you can just think about this as in, out, in, out, in, out. So they'll come out of the last tunnel and hit the rocks. So there you go. I'll slow down a little bit. Okay, so that's how you think about tunnels. So let's remove some of these, and let's use the tunnel to go over this or under this rock. Okay, so it'll go under the rock and out the other tunnel on the other side, but they'll hit the water there. And you cannot use tunnels to go under the water. So, well, I'll get to that in a second. Let's talk about direction first of all. So when you have a tunnel, and let's say you try to put this tunnel over here, that won't work because the ants have nowhere to go to. They have to have the exiting tunnel has to be in a straight line from the entering tunnel. So you can't put it there. You can put it anywhere on this line, or you can put it at a right angle. So if you put it at a right angle, say, let's put a tunnel here. Now let's do it there, and then there. Okay. So then the ants will enter this tunnel, they'll make a right turn, and exit the other tunnel. Okay. So when ants enter a tunnel, they can go straight, they can go left, or they can go right. So it's a little crowded here, but let's have the ants go this way, and then we'll put a tunnel here, and then here. Okay, and so you can see the ants go straight through. Okay, now if the ants can go through a tunnel straight through, they'll do that. So let's put tunnels over here and here. So when they enter this tunnel, its first choice is to go straight. Okay, so it will do that in this case. But if I take away this tunnel, then it's going to have to choose between exiting this tunnel and this tunnel. So it'll always choose the right one first. So in this case, when it's coming down, its right is this tunnel. So it'll exit out of that tunnel. Okay. And then finally, if there's no tunnel straight ahead and there's no tunnel to the right, then it'll choose the one to the left. Okay, so that's how tunnels work. Now you cannot, an ant cannot go backwards through a tunnel. So for example, what's a good example? Here, I'll do this. Let's have the ants go down here and through this tunnel. Let's put a tunnel over here. So here the ant will enter this tunnel, but it can't go backwards. So it's just going to go nowhere. Okay. So you'll have to put a tunnel, over here, just to make it, yeah, you'd have to put a tunnel like over here, for example. Have it go somewhere, or better yet, over here. Okay. So, and then I mentioned the ants can't use the tunnels to go underwater. So if you try to go this way, it won't work. They'll just all die. Okay. So that's pretty much how the tunnels work. So for this level, you obviously need to use the tunnels to go to the 4 different quadrants, because there's no other way. So hopefully you can figure out how to do that. Let's see. Let's move on to level 13. So I think this is the first level with leaves. So you see these leaves here at the bottom. Well, I think there was another level of leaves, but they weren't actually being used. They were just decorative. But in this level, you actually need it. If you notice this water beneath the yellow anthill, it has a little leaf imprint. So you need to collect the leaf and to be able to cross the water. So let's do an example here. Let's I'll use a tunnel just to make it quick. So let's put a tunnel here, and have the ants go that way. So if they do that, they come all the way across, go up, and they can't get across the water. So to get across the water, they need to pick up a leaf. There are 2 leaves here. You don't actually need both of them for this level. 1 will do. But I can't use the tunnel because then I'd skip over the leaves. So let's go this way. And like that. And let's hit play. And you can see the first ant will always pick up the leaves. And then it'll cross the water. But then that's not good because the red ant doesn't go on the yellow anthill. So for this level, you need the yellow ant to get the leaves. So let's direct those red ants away. So let's just make them go over there for now. Just get them out of the way. Then we need to get rid of the orange ants. So sorry, I think I'm probably going a little too fast with the playback. I'll slow it down a little bit. There. All right. So there's the yellow ant. It's got both leaves, and then it enters the anthill. Okay. So that's how leaves work. And they do stack. So if there's multiple leaves, then you saw the lead ant in this case got 2 leaves. You didn't need 2. So for example, could have done this. This would work here. Red ant goes away, orange ant goes away, the yellow ant picks up the leaf, and then enters the anthill. Okay. So like I said, the leaf stack, an ant can carry multiple leaves. Could be 2, 3, 4, or more. And in some levels you actually need that because it'll need to cross multiple of these water barriers. But try not to be wasteful in the sense that once that ant enters the anthill, it takes all the leaves with it, so you're not getting them back if you have any extra, or if that ant has any extra. All right, so that's leaves. So let's do one more level. Let's do level 14 because I think this gives some people some problems. Because I think it's the first level where you need to worry about spiders. So that spiders are killing your ants. So that's no good. And that's the only way to get over to the anthill. So let's look at this carefully again. Let's play a little slower. So let's see which ants actually die. The red ant dies. The orange ant actually gets through. So you could, let's use the white arrows here. You could just go like that. And if you just did that, you would see the red ant dies, yellow ant dies, green ant dies, and the purple one dies. So only 2 ants survive, the orange one and the blue one. So how to get past the spider? So let's start with the red ant. So the red ant is the first one that dies right there. All right. So basically what you want to do is delay. You can either delay the ant or have it take a slightly different route. So let's try this, for example. Let's go down here and over here. This is just a rerouting, but let's see if this works. Nope, that doesn't work. Ant still, or the spider's still in our way. So let's try to delay the ant. So we'll come across the spider at the same location, but we'll do this little detour to delay the ant. Okay, and it still died. So I'll have to delay it a little more. So we can just move this down here. Okay, so we've added 2 more squares it has to go through. So that should be enough. All right, and then you notice it's actually completely in line with the orange ant at this point. You can't see them, because they're completely synchronized, but it's there. And when you see it enter the anthill, you'll see it goes down to 4. So there's actually 2 ants. So that's one thing you can do with delaying the ant to get around the spider, and you can basically do that for the other colors that don't make it past the spider. So again, you can either delay the ant or you can take a slightly different route. You can go up or down, whichever. Sometimes one or the other will work, but not both, depending on the timing. Okay, so those are some hints, and we'll do some more next time, but hopefully that'll help you with some of the other levels. Thanks for watching.